What happens when car dealerships cannot sell cars they have been holding for months? This is shaping up to be the biggest car market crash in history, unfolding faster than anyone could have imagined. Rows of unsold trucks, skyrocketing inventory levels, and plummeting car values paint a dire picture. But why are dealership lots overflowing with vehicles no one wants? What does this mean for your car's value or your trade-in options? And most importantly, how will this reshape the way we buy and own cars? Stick around, because what is happening now is about to change everything you thought you knew about the car market. The inventory crisis. The lot stretches as far as the eye can see, row upon row of Ford F-150s, Toyota Tundras, and Ram pickups. These are the crown jewels of the American truck market, symbols of power and utility. Yet they sit idle, gathering dust and waiting for buyers who never arrive. Each passing day deepens the financial strain on dealerships, turning these vehicles from prized assets into costly liabilities. Across the United States, the average age of unsold dealership inventory now exceeds 220 days for specific models. This figure is staggering when you consider that the industry standard was once a brisk 60 to 90 days. Even America's #1 selling pickup truck, the Ford F-150, is not immune. In some lots, trucks priced upwards of $100,000 remain unsold, their price tags too steep for the average buyer. Toyota Tundras and Ram trucks face a similar plight, with models priced at $74,000, $97,000, or even higher sitting unclaimed. This rise of unsold inventory is not just a problem for dealerships, it is a warning sign of deeper cracks in the automotive industry's foundation. For manufacturers, unsold vehicles represent wasted production and eroding profits. For dealerships, every day these trucks remain unsold, which means additional costs such as flooring fees, a kind of interest payment on their inventory loans. For car owners, it signals a plummeting resale market where vehicles lose value faster than ever before. So why does this matter? Because it is a perfect storm that could impact anyone buying, selling, or owning a car. The ripple effects extend far beyond the dealership lot, threatening to reshape the entire car market. The ripple effect on consumers. Now let's talk about the numbers that truly hit home. Vehicle prices have skyrocketed by 42% since 2019. A Toyota Tacoma that once cost $30,000 can now easily exceed $43,000 for the same trim level. Such dramatic price increases are not isolated to trucks. They span sedans, SUVs, and electric vehicles alike. But rising prices are just one piece of the puzzle. Negative equity is the silent financial killer lurking beneath the surface. This term refers to the situation where a borrower owes more on their vehicle loan than the car is worth. Currently, 1 in 5 auto loans falls into this category, with some borrowers finding themselves $10,000 underwater. For car buyers who took out loans based on inflated prices during the pandemic, the realization is sinking in. Their vehicles are worth significantly less than anticipated. Repossession rates have also spiked, increasing by 23% over the past year. This trend reflects a growing inability among consumers to keep up with their auto loan payments, a burden exacerbated by rising interest rates and inflation. It is not just about losing a car. Repossession damages credit scores and creates long-term financial hardship for those affected. Why does this ripple effect matter? Because it highlights the fragility of consumer finances in today's economic climate. For anyone considering a vehicle purchase, these trends suggest that caution and strategic planning are more critical than ever. The stakes are not just high for manufacturers and dealerships, they are personal for every car buyer navigating this turbulent market. Root causes of the crash. How did we get here? The current car market crash is not a simple story of supply and demand. It is a multifaceted crisis born from years of compounding issues. The first major factor is overproduction. After the pandemic-era supply chain disruptions, manufacturers raced to catch up, flooding the market with vehicles. Unfortunately, their projections did not account for shifting consumer priorities or economic headwinds. Rising interest rates are another significant culprit, with average rates for new car loans exceeding 7% and used car loans climbing past 11%. Financing a vehicle has become prohibitively expensive for many buyers. Inflation has further eroded consumer purchasing power, making high monthly payments untenable for families already grappling with increased living costs. Finally, there is the changing mindset of the modern car buyer. Consumers are prioritizing fuel efficiency and affordability over luxury and performance. Hybrid and electric vehicles are gaining traction, but even these markets are not immune to overpricing and waning demand. Ask yourself this: if buyers cannot afford new vehicles, how will dealerships and manufacturers survive? The answer lies in adaptation, but the road to recovery is fraught with challenges. The root causes of this crash are not quick fixes. They are systemic issues that will require time and strategic shifts to address. Manufacturers under pressure. For automakers, the pressure is mounting. With dealerships unable to move inventory, manufacturers face the grim reality of slowing production lines and dwindling revenue. Some are turning to deep discounts and incentivized financing deals in a desperate bid to clear inventory. For instance, discounts of $8,000 to $15,000 off manufacturer-suggested retail prices are becoming increasingly common, yet even these deals often fail to attract buyers. Nissan is a case study in the consequences of this crisis. The company has announced plans to cut production by 25% and lay off 9,000 employees globally. These decisions come on the heels of a 70% drop in anticipated profits over the past year. Such dramatic moves are a stark reminder of how precarious the situation has become for even established brands. Why does this matter? Because these are not isolated incidents. The challenges faced by Nissan are emblematic of broader industry struggles. If manufacturers cannot adapt to this new reality, we could see significant brand consolidations or even collapses in the coming years. The stakes are high, and the ripple effects of these pressures will shape the future of the automotive landscape. The role of interest rates. The impact of rising interest rates on the automotive industry cannot be overstated. For the average consumer, the cost of financing a vehicle has skyrocketed to levels not seen in recent memory. New car loan interest rates now hover around 7.2%, while used car loans average a staggering 11.4%. These figures represent a significant increase from the historically low rates seen just a few years ago. Consider a practical example: a buyer looking to finance a moderately priced vehicle, let us say $50,000 over a typical 72-month term. With the current interest rates, their monthly payments would exceed $1,000. This is more than double what similar loans would have cost when rates were at their lowest. These mortgage-sized car payments are stretching household budgets to their breaking points, leaving many potential buyers unable or unwilling to commit. For dealerships, the implications are profound. The rising cost of borrowing not only deters new buyers, but also worsens the inventory glut as vehicles sit unsold. Higher financing costs are pushing even loyal brand enthusiasts to reconsider their options, potentially opting for older, less expensive models or avoiding a purchase altogether. Why does this matter to you? If you are a prospective buyer, it means the financial strain of owning a new car is at an all-time high. It also means there is room to negotiate, as dealerships are desperate to move inventory before it further depreciates. For current vehicle owners, the ripple effect of these financing challenges could also impact trade-in values as fewer buyers are able to meet the market's price expectations. The price bubble. Over the past few years, vehicle prices have inflated to unprecedented levels. A Ford Expedition Limited Max, for instance, can now cost over $92,000 when purchased new. Within just 2 years, that same vehicle may resell for only $39,000. This steep depreciation underscores a fundamental instability in the market. Take another example: a Toyota Tacoma SR5, once priced at $30,000, is now retailing at $43,000. The same truck that appealed to the blue-collar working class just a few years ago has become inaccessible to many of its original buyers. These inflated prices not only alienate key demographics, but also diminish the long-term value proposition of new vehicle ownership. To put this into perspective, imagine buying a vehicle with payments comparable to a mortgage, only to watch its value plummet faster than you can pay off the loan. It is akin to investing in a sinking ship, a scenario that leaves consumers financially strained and dealerships scrambling to maintain trust and profitability. Why does this matter to you? Understanding the dynamics of this price bubble is crucial if you are in the market for a vehicle. Awareness of inflated prices and rapid depreciation can help you make informed decisions about whether to buy now, wait, or explore alternative options such as certified pre-owned vehicles. Auction decline and wholesale values. Wholesale values, the backbone of dealership trade-ins and offloading strategies, have plummeted by 18% in the last quarter alone. This sharp decline has eliminated a key safety net for dealerships, which once relied on auction sales to recoup losses on unsold inventory. Now, with wholesale values dropping so steeply, dealerships face a new dilemma: sell to consumers at a loss or hold on to inventory that continues to depreciate. For example, a truck that would have fetched $40,000 at auction 6 months ago might now only bring in $32,000. This reduction in wholesale prices forces dealerships to rethink their strategies, often to the detriment of trade-in offers made to consumers. What this means for buyers is simple. The value of your current vehicle is likely less than you expect, making trade-ins a less attractive option. This shift also affects dealership operations. Many are now opting to sell vehicles directly to consumers rather than risk auction losses. However, this approach brings its own set of challenges, including the need for competitive pricing and aggressive promotions to attract buyers. Why does this matter to you? If you are planning to trade in your vehicle, understanding the declining wholesale values can help set realistic expectations. Additionally, this trend could present opportunities to negotiate better deals on new purchases, especially as dealerships become more willing to cut their losses to clear inventory. Struggles in the electric vehicle market. Even the electric vehicle sector, once heralded as the future of the automotive industry, is not immune to the current market crash. Sales of high-profile electric models such as the Ford F-150 Lightning and the Mustang Mach-E have fallen far short of expectations, despite significant markdowns. Meanwhile, Tesla, the industry leader, has seen its resale values drop precipitously over the past 2 years. What was once a lucrative investment for early adopters is now a cautionary tale for prospective buyers. This trend reflects a broader issue. Electric vehicles remain prohibitively expensive for many buyers, even with incentives and discounts. For example, a new Ford F-150 Lightning may still cost over $52,000 after markdowns, a figure that places it out of reach for most middle-class families. Additionally, concerns over battery longevity, charging infrastructure, and resale values further complicate the decision to go electric. Why does this matter to you? If you are considering an electric vehicle, these trends highlight the importance of thorough research and financial planning. While the market struggles may lead to better deals in the short term, the long-term value and practicality of electric vehicles remain uncertain for many buyers. For those sticking to traditional vehicles, the faltering electric vehicle sector may provide additional leverage in negotiations as dealerships shift focus back to their core offerings. As these market dynamics continue to unfold, understanding their implications can empower you to make informed decisions, whether you are buying, selling, or simply navigating the automotive landscape. The human impact. Imagine this. You have been budgeting carefully, saving up for your dream car. However, as you sit down to calculate the monthly expenses, a harsh reality hits you. Insurance premiums have doubled over the last 2 years, leaving many Americans scrambling to keep their vehicles insured. In some states, premiums have skyrocketed by as much as 50 to 60% year over year. For many households, this increase is not just inconvenient, it is devastating. Families that once comfortably included car insurance in their budgets are now facing hard decisions, such as cutting back on essentials to maintain their coverage. The financial strain does not stop there. For those looking to trade in their current vehicles, the situation is equally grim. Trade-in values have plummeted, with depreciation accelerating faster than ever. Negative equity, a term referring to owing more on a car loan than the vehicle's worth, has reached unprecedented levels. On average, car owners owe $7,200 more than their vehicle's actual value. This represents a substantial increase from $6,600 just a few months ago. For 1 in 5 borrowers, the gap is even worse, with debts exceeding $10,000 over their vehicle's worth. Why does this matter? For the average car owner, these trends spell financial instability. Higher insurance premiums mean less money for other necessities, while declining trade-in values make upgrading to a newer vehicle nearly impossible. If you are not already underwater on your car loan, the odds are stacking against you. Imagine this. You have been diligently making car payments for 2 years, expecting to use the equity in your vehicle to trade up. But when you walk into a dealership, you are told your car is worth significantly less than what you owe. You are stuck, unable to trade in or refinance, with the cost of ownership looming larger than ever. For many, this scenario is not hypothetical. It is the reality they face every day. Understanding these challenges is essential for anyone navigating today's turbulent car market. It is not just about numbers, it is about financial choices that could determine your stability for years to come. Small dealers versus corporate giants. While large corporate dealerships have resources to withstand the storm, small independent dealerships are bearing the brunt of this crisis. These smaller businesses face disproportionately higher costs to maintain their unsold inventory, often referred to as flooring costs. For every vehicle sitting idle on the lot, dealers must pay interest on the loans they took out to stock those cars. As months pass without sales, these costs pile up, creating a financial sinkhole that many small dealerships cannot escape. Consider a small-town dealership juggling a dozen unsold pickup trucks. Each month, the owner writes checks to cover flooring costs, hoping the vehicles will sell before their value declines further. Meanwhile, nearby corporate dealerships offer steep discounts thanks to manufacturer-backed incentives. These discounts can range from $10,000 to $15,000, leaving the small dealer unable to compete. The independent dealer faces two bleak choices: sell at a loss or hold on and risk financial ruin. Now imagine the ripple effects. When a small dealership closes its doors, it does not just affect the owner. Employees lose their jobs, local businesses lose a key partner, and communities lose a trusted resource. For many rural or small-town buyers, these dealerships were the only accessible option for purchasing and servicing vehicles. This disparity is not just about business competition. It reflects a deeper imbalance in the car market. Larger dealerships have the luxury of weathering downturns by leveraging bulk discounts and better financing terms. They can afford to take short-term losses to maintain market share. Smaller dealerships, on the other hand, operate on much thinner margins. The current crisis is forcing many of them to exit the market entirely. What does this mean for you as a buyer? Fewer small dealerships mean less competition, which can drive prices higher in the long run. Additionally, the loss of personalized service and community connections is a significant downside for those who value these elements in their car buying experience. The closure of small dealerships is not just a business story, it is a consumer story, one that highlights the shifting dynamics of the market and the uneven playing field between independent and corporate giants. Predictions for the next year. What lies ahead for the car market? Industry experts are sounding the alarm on several fronts. One of the most discussed possibilities is a merger between major automakers, with brands like Honda and Nissan considering pooling resources to survive. This move could lead to significant shifts in the types of vehicles available to consumers, potentially reducing variety as companies streamline their offerings. Imagine walking into a dealership and finding fewer models to choose from, with the focus shifting to high-margin or universally appealing vehicles. Additionally, production cuts are on the horizon. Automakers are already scaling back to manage excess inventory, and layoffs across the sector are expected to follow. Nissan's recent decision to cut 25% of its production is a harbinger of what other manufacturers may do in the coming months. For consumers, these shifts could lead to even more aggressive discounting in the short term, as companies strive to clear out inventory before scaling back. Another prediction involves the role of technology. As automakers grapple with financial pressures, investment in electric vehicles and other innovations may slow. This could delay the rollout of new technologies, leaving consumers with fewer choices and less access to cutting-edge features. Why should this matter to you? If you are planning to buy or trade in a vehicle, understanding these trends can help you make smarter decisions. As automakers adjust their strategies, opportunities may arise for savvy buyers to capitalize on lower prices or favorable financing options. However, the long-term effects, like reduced competition and fewer choices, could also impact how you shop for cars in the future. Imagine being a buyer in this new landscape. You may find yourself navigating a world where automakers prioritize profitability over variety, and where dealerships are less willing to negotiate as they tighten their margins. Knowing these possibilities now gives you a head start in preparing for what is to come. Opportunity amid chaos. Amid the doom and gloom, there is a silver lining for consumers willing to act strategically. The current desperation among dealerships has created opportunities to negotiate better deals than ever before. As unsold inventory clogs lots, dealerships are slashing prices, offering substantial discounts to move vehicles quickly. For those who are ready to buy, timing is everything. Consider this: dealerships often ramp up discounts near the end of financial quarters when they are under pressure to meet sales targets. If you are in the market for a vehicle, watching for these windows could save you thousands. Similarly, negotiating interest rates on financing is another area where buyers can take control. While interest rates are generally high, some dealerships offer incentivized rates to lure buyers. Another tip: focus on models that have been sitting unsold for months. These vehicles are prime candidates for deeper discounts, as dealerships are eager to avoid further flooring costs. Researching which models and brands are struggling can give you an edge in negotiations. Think of it as a game of leverage. Dealerships need to sell. You need to buy. The more informed you are, the better positioned you will be to make a deal that works in your favor. Take advantage of end-of-year sales events, which often feature the largest discounts as dealerships attempt to clear inventory before the new models arrive. For those who can afford to wait, the next year may offer even more opportunities. As production slows and layoffs increase, dealerships will face mounting pressure to move their inventory. Keep an eye on the market and be ready to act when the timing feels right. The bottom line is this: even in a crashing car market, opportunities exist for those who know where to look. By understanding the challenges facing dealerships and manufacturers, you can position yourself to make smart, cost-effective choices, turning the chaos into your advantage. Whether you are negotiating for a lower interest rate, holding out for deeper discounts, or simply researching the best time to buy, the power is in your hands. In these turbulent times, knowledge truly is power. The car market is changing rapidly, and those who stay informed will be the ones who thrive. Take control of your buying journey, and remember, every crisis presents an opportunity. It is up to you to seize it. Lessons from past crashes. The current crisis in the automotive market draws inevitable comparisons to past economic downturns, most notably the financial crisis of 2008. Back then, collapsing housing markets and skyrocketing unemployment created a domino effect, decimating car sales almost overnight. The automotive industry faced mass bankruptcies, with iconic names like General Motors and Chrysler requiring government bailouts to stay afloat. For consumers, this meant unprecedented discounts, halted production lines, and fewer financing options. Yet, even amid the turmoil, there was a clear sense that the industry would rebound once broader economic stability returned. Fast forward to today, and while some echoes of the past remain, this crash is shaping up to be vastly different. Unlike the financial crisis, where a singular external event triggered the collapse, today's issues are rooted in deeper, more structural shifts. Overproduction following the pandemic-induced supply chain recovery has left dealerships with unprecedented inventory levels. Simultaneously, rising interest rates have made auto loans unattainable for a growing number of buyers, leaving unsold vehicles collecting dust on dealership lots. But these challenges point to something even more profound: the changing dynamics of car ownership itself. One key difference is how consumer priorities are evolving. Back in 2008, the allure of owning a car was still universal, even aspirational. Today, the rise of ride-sharing platforms and subscription-based car services is beginning to disrupt this traditional model. Younger generations, particularly millennials and members of Generation Z, are prioritizing flexibility and affordability over the long-term financial commitments of ownership. This shift is amplified by growing environmental awareness, pushing many to consider whether owning a personal vehicle aligns with their values. The vehicles themselves have also changed dramatically since 2008. Advances in technology have ushered in electric and hybrid options, autonomous features, and subscription-based updates for in-car systems. However, these innovations often come with price tags that are out of reach for the average buyer. Combine this with the volatile nature of fuel costs and an uncertain economic outlook, and you begin to see why the current downturn feels more like a redefinition of the industry rather than a temporary setback. The question is no longer when the market will recover, but how it will evolve. Are we witnessing the beginning of a new era in transportation, where ownership becomes secondary to access and sustainability? Or will the industry find a way to adapt while holding on to its traditional models? What do you think? Let's know in the comments below.